Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be basically talking about how to get more high kill games and play a little bit more aggressive in Chapter 2 Season 2. And the reason a lot of you guys might be doing this is, one is you just want to get maybe, I don't know, your new high record kill game or something like that. You want to drop a 15, 16, 17, even maybe 20 bomb. And now that launch pads are back in the game and the infinite grappler and stuff like that, it is a lot easier to play aggressive and you can actually go for high kill games, because when there was no movement, it was a lot harder. And then a lot of you guys may just want to start playing a little bit more aggressive and W key style just to actually help improving, because it is a really good way to improve, because you're practicing fighting new people and as many people as possible, which will overall help your ability to win fights and just take fights in general. So if you're looking forward to this video, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into the video. So for the first tip that you guys are going to want to do, and this is a very important one, and it's pretty self-explanatory, but basically you're going to want to improve mechanically first. And a lot of you guys might be like, well, what do you mean, like, improve? Like, do I just play the game, or like, how do I do that, or whatever the case is, right? But basically what I mean about that is you need to improve not only your building, your editing, but your aim as well as your IQ. Those are the four main kind of mechanics I consider. And yes, I consider IQ like a mechanic, because technically it is, well, in my opinion at least, but you need to improve all four of those aspects. Now a lot of you guys are probably like, well, yeah, like if I improved all those and I got good at all of them, well, then I'd be a pro, right? But I'm not saying you guys have to be the best player in the world, or the best aim, or the best building, or the best IQ, or whatever the case is, but you got to just be somewhat good at like editing, at building, have decent aim, have pretty good IQ, have fought a lot or something like that, because if you haven't, then you're probably not going to do that well W keying, right? If you aren't very good at building and you can't edit very well, or you can't shoot very well, well, then it's going to be hard to take as many fights as possible, because you're going to be losing a lot, you're not going to get that much done, etc., right? And if you're decent mechanics, you have pretty good mechanics, and you can actually win some fights, well, then it's going to be a lot easier to continue to win the fight and just do better overall. So what I recommend doing to improve your mechanics and just improve overall, basically, and start being able to W key, would be practice in creative first. Creative is probably, in my opinion, the best addition Fortnite has ever added. It's basically just improved the skill gap by literally tenfold, in my opinion. It's allowed people to practice almost every single thing, or every aspect of the game, in my opinion. So basically what I recommend doing is, one, just going in and playing box fights, doing some free builds, edit courses, aim courses, whatever floats your boat. Just do stuff to help improve aim, play some zone wars, or IQ, or whatever the case is, right? Whatever you feel you lack on, go inside a game in creative and practice it. Whether, like I said, it's aim, IQ, editing, building, whatever the case is, there's something that everyone can work on, even if you're the best player in the world. And trust me, if you can, the better and the quicker you get better mechanics and overall IQ, the better it is and it will be to W key. The next tip, and again, this is another pretty obvious one, and I'm sure you guys know it, but it is super important, and it's land hot drop, or land the first big place. So basically what I mean about that is, if you guys don't know what the hot drop is basically when you first start your bus route, like when you're landing into the map and you first start your bus route, where's the first main POI, like point of interest. So for example, some good places would be like Pleasant, or Sweaty Sands, or the Shark, or like places like that, Slurpee, right? So it all depends kind of where your bus is, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to land at the very first place where a lot of people go. Just again, like those places I mentioned, like Slurpee, for example, if the bus is coming across Slurpee and it's the first place the bus is hitting, jump and go Slurpee. And the reason for that is there will be a lot more people more likely to go at this kind of first map, first spot to go, right? The only problem is, yes, sometimes, unfortunately, there will be so many people that you're just going to get unlucky, and you're going to get no shotgun, or you're going to get no shield, and then you're going to die, right? Which, yes, it will suck. Unfortunately, you're going to die a lot while W keying, but if your whole goal is to get a high kill game and just improve overall, it's okay if you die here or there. Just try your best, obviously, to win off spawn. But yeah, trust me, hot dropping is the way you're going to do it. If you're not hot dropping, it's going to become a lot more difficult to drop that high kill game and take as many fights as possible. So now my next tip is basically push everyone and try not to take as much time as possible. Like, try and be as quick and efficient as possible with whatever you're doing. So basically, if you're going for a high kill game and you're trying to get like a 20 bomb or 15 bomb or just play a little bit more aggressive, time is super important, right? If you're spending 20 minutes, okay, not 20 minutes, if you're spending 5 minutes farming up early game, well, there in that time there's gonna be like 10-15 people who have died already, right? So you can't be wasting time. Even if you only have 300 mats, yeah, maybe farm up for like a minute, but then after that you're just gonna have to go, you're gonna find someone and have to kill them, right? That's a problem with playing super aggressive, is you can't really waste time. If you're low HP, like depending on what HP you're on, if you're on like 10, obviously try and find some heals. But if you're on like 75, 100, 120, sometimes you don't really have a choice but to actually fight people, which, yeah, it sucks, you don't really have a choice. But if you just like look for heals the entire game, you're not going to be able to get a lot of kills, which again is just all about time management. And if you, yeah, spend 10 minutes farming, everyone's already dead, right? You got to spend a little bit time farming, a little bit time doing here or there, and hope that you just get a lot of mats, a lot of HP, whatever the case is, just off dead bodies that you hopefully kill. So trust me, go and push everyone you possibly can instead of focusing on healing and doing that kind of stuff, because if you do, you will not probably be able to get a high kill game. So the best way, in my opinion, to win as many fights as possible and consistently win them would be, number one, is basically third parties are your best friend. Third parties are so crucial in getting high kill games, and the reason for that, well, there's actually a couple reasons for that. One, I would say, is basically because a lot of the time both of them, or at least one of them, is already pretty weak due to them fighting, and if they aren't, well, then they're so focused on each other fighting that you can just come in here and clean one up, hopefully both up super easily, as well as basically you don't really have to do any of the work, right? You hear someone shooting in the distance because they're fighting, you can just push up and then clap them, right? Super easy. Obviously not as easy to win the fight, but pretty self-explanatory, right? The biggest thing I would say is, again, it just comes down to that time management and try not to waste time. Is if basically you hear two people fighting, a lot of people will kind of like sneak in, figure out where they are, or like how the best way to push is, or try and get some AR shots, or whatever the case is, right? You don't really have time to do that, unfortunately. So basically what you need to do is, the second you hear two people fighting, yeah, go ahead, try and get some AR shots. If they're both at shield, or you don't hit anyone, or they're boxed up, or whatever the case is, instead of just keep spraying with the AR or something like that. And obviously there's different scenarios, it obviously depends a little bit, but in most case scenarios, just push up no matter what and try and get in as quick as possible and try and scoop up both kills, because again, every kill matters, every death matters. So if you're allowing one of the persons to kill the other player, well, then you're just missed out on a kill, right? So try and get in as quick as possible, and again, that goes back to that push everyone and just try your best to play aggressive and not kind of run away or do that kind of stuff. But trust me, if you get up close and personal and try and swoop up both those kills, having those two kills, as well as most likely they're both gonna have heals, mats, etc., good weapons, stuff like that, well, then you're just gonna do so much better overall in the long run. So now my next tip is, yes, and I know I've been saying this for the entire video, and it's basically like, oh yeah, play aggressive, don't worry about wasting time, etc., blah blah blah, but at the same time, it's super important to still play smart, right? There's still a difference between playing dumb, playing smart, and just mindlessly W keying, right? So basically, if you're just mindlessly W keying, you're just pushing everyone you see, you're not really paying attention, you're just running into every single fight with your head gone, or whatever the case is, right? When in reality, yeah, that's not a bad idea if you're just mechanically gifted and you're good enough to do that and take on almost anyone you see, then it's a little bit different. But if you're just an average player or a pretty good player and you're just W keying with your absolutely no idea what's going on, like you're just pushing everyone, most of the time you are gonna die. Yeah, you might get a couple kills here or there, but it's super important to like remember that you still gotta play smart and you gotta keep like everything in mind, right? Like if you're at 0 mats, probably not the best idea to fight, right? Like if you're at 200 mats, yeah, sometimes, like I said, if you really want a high kill game, you're gonna have to push. But if you're at like 20 mats, something like that, probably not the best idea to push. Same thing if you're at 20 HP. If you're close to Slurpee, yeah, probably go and heal. Don't like just waste your time and just get killed by someone right. Because if you push someone and you're at 20 HP, there's a high chance you're gonna die. It doesn't really matter how good you are unless you hit them with like a heavy snipe to the body or something like that. So trust me, again, I try not to waste time, but also just don't play completely dumb and stupid because you aren't gonna do good. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you did, smash the like button on it, use creator code WraithFN, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.